And now we are down to the final matchup before we get straight to cutthroat mode. So Kid Marvel versus Chappy. North Carolina versus Toronto. Kid Marvel, you going first. 60 seconds. This beat is called Church in the Nebulas. Church in the Nebulas. Some cosmic galaxy type of stuff. So let's get to it. Church in the Nebulas, Kid Marvel, North Carolina. Let's do it. That was Kid Marvel representing North Carolina. I like the drums. I love the drums. I like that. I like that. I like it. Chappy, let's see what you got to say. The only representation from Canada today, from Toronto, is Chappy. This beat is called Notulus. 60 seconds. Let's do it. I like how the bass and everything was moving on Chappy's. I like the bass, but I love the drums on Kid Marvel. So if I had to match the drums versus the bass and how Chappy's was riding, I have to lean a little bit on Kid Marvel's side. I think if the drums were knocking a little bit harder on Chappy's side, he might have sealed the deal on that one. If the drums were knocking a little different, but the drums on Marvel's was just like slapping. It was just like, you know what I mean, on one. So I got to give the first one to Kid Marvel. But it's not over. We're going to see what Chappy got in store for the second beat. But the beat was cool. The bass, I like the bass, how it was moving. It's just I needed an extra spike to the punch. And I think the drums, if it was hitting a little bit harder on Chappy, he might have got that one. But we're going to go with Kid Marvel on the first one. It's not over yet. Second beat, Kid Marvel. This one is called Whirls. 60 seconds, North Carolina. Let's get it. That's a dope ass melody. That's a dope ass melody. It took a while for me to actually get it. But that was a dope ass melody. Chappy, let's see what you got to say in response to that. This beat is called Your Purpose. Your Purpose as a producer. Let's get to it. Chappy, Toronto. Let's do it. All right, I'm kind of riding with Marvel on this one. I like what Chappy brought to the table for the second beat. So based on that, the energy, the vibe, the little vocal, stabs in here and there, vocal chops here and there. It was heavy. It's deserving of a round 3. This is the final matchup before we get to Cutthroat. So we're going to give this one to Chappy. We're going to do a best of 3. And we're going to see who really, really, really wants to get the bag tonight. Although Kid Marvel's second beat was bananas. But Chappy had a decent response to it. So let's go to a round 3 to see who's really going to bring the coffin out for this third beat. All right, so Kid Marvel, third beat. This beat is called Church in the Safari. So let's do it. He did Church in the Nebulas, which was crazy. Now we're going to do Church in the Safari. Everything was dope so far. So let's get to it. That was the third beat from Kid Marvel. Very dope. Both producers are dope. I wouldn't say different age groups, but they're in totally different directions. Different directions with their production, which is cool. That's what hip hop is, variety. So Chappy, let's see what you got to say for your third beat, which is called Tomorrow. First beat was Nachala. Second beat was Your Purpose, and third is Tomorrow. Kind of has a string together with all the names of the beats. So Chappy, third beat, Toronto. Let's do it.
Now yes, for Chappy.
think you need to practice a little bit more. I know, Chappy, I believe you're young. I believe you're young from what I was told. So I think you need to just work on the arrangement game a little bit. Just work on your arrangement game. I hear the direction that you're going with your production. But I think you just need to practice a little bit more on the arrangement, putting things together, taking your time with it, and putting it together. In particular for battle mode. It's one thing to make a beat for an artist or for a song, but when you're in battle mode, take a little bit more time. Be a little bit more meticulous with your arrangement, how you arrange things, where you want to emphasize at certain points of the beat. You know, your transition was good. You did a whole transition at the midpoint, but you could have did, some other things, transitions that are not so obvious. Like we knew a transition was coming, how you just slowed it down and then started back up. But when you just do a transition that no one was expecting in a battle, that just emphasizes everything 10 times more. It's more polarized when you do that. That's just like, whoa. You just caught somebody totally off guard with a transition they were not expecting, and it just slaps them. Beats right, the bass is right, the drums is right. So when you're doing transitions, just keep that in mind. It's not just to do a transition for the sake of a transition, but you want to do it where you surprise somebody like, oh shit, I was not expecting that. That's what you want to do in a battle. So just practice your arrangement game, study what other producers are doing, study some of the producers you've heard tonight, who've done transitions, who've done different things, experiment with different sounds or whatnot, and just keep at it. You know what I mean? But it's your first time on the platform. So just study what the competition is like, and then come back next week and do it up, or come back the week after that and do it up. All right. So Kid Marvel, we go into the top 8 with Kid Marvel on this one. But Chappy, as I said, nothing wrong with your beats. Just work on the arrangement game and work on the execution a little bit more. And, if you're going to do those transitions, just do them not so obvious. Hit people with the element of surprise, for battle purposes. Song is different, but for battle purposes, transitions should be kind of like, give them something they were not expecting at a certain point. All right.